energies. How Krishna is the origin of source of everyone's life. That's what we discussed. She said, I want to hear. Said, Mother, Krishna is the life force. Krishna is the father, Krishna is the mother. When the life force is there in the body, we are alive. When the life force leaves, soul cannot bear without Krishna in the heart. So soul also leaves. People who do not worship Krishna, they are cast into the cycle of birth and death. Millions and millions and millions of births they have to go through. They have to go through millions of births. And life is wasted. And every birth, they have to get into the womb of the mother. They have to get into the womb of the mother and head down, feet up. So much suffering. Small worms will come and bite the body. And based on whatever mother eats, if mother eats very spicy stuff, the gastric fire burns. Gastric fire burns the body, the tender body of the child. And he cannot come out. He is in such a helpless situation. Like a bow head, He was carved like a bow, His body is carved like a bow. And he prays to Krishna, my Lord, this lifetime I'll dedicate you. When he comes out, he forgets. When he comes out, he forgets. Somebody dedicates life to Krishna, somebody dedicates his life. Somebody dedicates his life, his or her life, to serving Krishna. They'll be liberated. If not, old age, so much suffering. And during the life also, adhyatmik, adibhautik, adidavikam miseries. They have to go through. So, Mother, human life is meant for becoming servant of Krishna. Like a Kapila Dev preaching to Mother Devahuti, preached. Mother Sachi was joyful actually. Mother Sachi was very joyful. So he would not speak anything but Krishna. He was perfectly so Krishna conscious. He would see Krishna everywhere. And nothing but Krishna's holy name only, existed on his tongue. Nothing but only Krishna's name all the time. He did not speak anything to anybody except Krishna. He spoke only about Krishna. And he would see Krishna everywhere. So next day he went to, as a teacher he went. Students came. They opened their books. Teacher asked, the student asked, what is the correct and perfect understanding in the alphabet? So he said, Lord Narayana is situated in all the letters of the alphabets. Then another student asked, How are the letters of the alphabets perfected? The merciful glance of Krishna created the alphabet. And student said, "Oh, Nimai Pandit, please give us a correct understanding. You are telling everything Krishna only." Said, at every moment one should remember Krishna. I am describing about worshiping of Krishna, which is the essence of the scriptures, perfect of scriptures. In the beginning, middle, and end, scriptures teach only about the worship of Krishna. And he started talking like that. The students started to laugh. One student said, "I think this type of explanations are because of the imbalance of the life airs." And then one student asked, "Where did you get this idea?" My Pandit, Gaur Sundar said, "This is the ultimate conclusion of the scriptures." He said, "If you cannot understand now, contemplate this matter again. We'll meet in the afternoon. I'll explain more in detail. You all should go in a separate place and read your books. And in the afternoon, we'll meet again." All the students, when they heard what they did, the students were surprised. They closed their books. They tied, that's like this, left. They went to Gangadas Pandit, the teacher, and said, anything we ask, Nimai Pandit speaks of only Krishna. He just speaks of only Krishna. Nothing but Krishna. Ever since he returned from Gaya, he did not say anything but Krishna only. Anything you ask, the answer is only Krishna from him. So we don't know what to do. Gangadas Pandit said, "Don't worry. You come in the afternoon with your teacher also will come that time. We'll talk." And he called Nimai Pandit. And Nimai Pandit, where did you learn? You'll achieve by giving up education and learning. Where did you hear that you will get devotion to Krishna? So see your parents, they were scholars. Your grandfather was a scholar. Only through proper learning and education, one can become a Vaishnava Brahmana. How can a illiterate Brahmin develop the faculty? If somebody is an illiterate, how can they discriminate between bad and good? And what is right, what is not right, what is proper and what is improper? You can chant Krishna's holy name, but to continue your profession nicely. So please, you can go now, but teach the scriptures in proper way with proper explanations. Don't give wrong conclusions. People are complaining. It's giving me anxiety. He said like this. My parent said, "I'm sorry. Who is there in entire Navadvip who can refute my explanations? I will there is nobody who can refute my explanations. There is no Bhattacharyas and Mishras who can, and sit and argue with me. So don't worry." So when he heard that, he was happy. So what he did, he took his students, So he said, yes. So I went home. I'll do it nicely from tomorrow. So he took his students. But what happened? So the students also came. He visited a gentleman home. His name was Ratnagarbhacharya. Actually, was connected to a friend of Jayanad Mishra. It's 3 sons. And he was reading Srimad Bhagavatam. And he went, when he was going with students on his way, I met him. Then he was reading Srimad Bhagavatam. He was talking about Brahman Patnis, Dvija Patnis. Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. When what is that? Gopas go and request for prasad. Krishna and Balram, they came here, they're hungry. Immediately Dvijapatnis came with prasad. They came to see Krishna because they heard a lot about Krishna. When they heard, they rushed to the scene. They rushed to see where Krishna was there. When Krishna, they came, they saw Krishna, beautiful young boy. What did they see? Krishna was so beautiful. His complexion was like a bluish black monsoon cloud. He was wearing yellow garments. He was nicely decorated with flower garlands around his neck. A peacock feather, his peacock feather was part of his crown. And his crown was so beautiful. And what is that? He was standing with friends. Actually, he was leaning against with Balram. He was leaning against Balramji. And he was leaning against the shoulder of Balramji and was twirling the lotus flower. So Krishna knows very well how to attract people. His earrings were decorated with lotus flowers. So the earrings were in the shape of lotus flowers. And there's a beautiful, his body was a sandalwood on his body, and he has a sweet smile. And if I'm right, I think he recited this poem describing the beauty of Krishna. When Vishwambara heard this, so Ratnagarbhacharya was speaking with so much bhakti, the beauty of Krishna, immediately fainted. And he became ecstatic. He said, go on. When he woke up, he said, go on speaking, go on speaking. When he said that, he started reading. When he started reading, he was rolling on the ground. And Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. The tears were gushing from his eyes like a river Ganga. And his hairs were standing on hand. He was sweating like anything. No one has ever seen like this. He said, go on speaking, go on speaking. And the Brahmana was very inspired. He was affected by spiritual environment. And he started reciting in that poem after poem describing the beauty of Krishna. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he said, go on, go on, go on. And as the Bhagavatam recitation was going on, he was actually affected to see the beauty of Lord Krishna's description. He was rolling. The students were stunned. Gadadhar was passing by. Gadadhar said, wait. He told Ratnagarbhacharya, don't read. Stop. And onlookers saw what was happening. And they never saw anything like this. Hare Krishna. So when he told him stop, he stopped. Then Gaurasundar came back to consciousness. So he asked, How did I behave? Was my behavior normal, abnormal? Student said, sir, what ability we have to describe your, our uncommon activities? We can say one thing, you are very fortunate. Then a friend said, I don't praise him like this, Yeah. Then when he heard this, immediately, he withdrew himself. And he said, okay, let us go. So let us go. And he went to his students to Bank of Ganga. So they all came to the Bank of Ganga. Actually, they were coming to Ganga to continue their education in the afternoon. This is what happened on the way. See, people were so devotional those days. There is no malice. There is no cruelty, exploitation. India was a dominant, agrarian country. Grow enough crops, bhakti. So technology came, all the bogus came actually. Anyway, so he came, he took little water, Ganga water on his head, and sat down. We'll continue, open the books. Sir, we have a question, yes. What is the definition of dhatu, verbal roots? He came from the Brahman, so, Krishna is the origin of, verbal roots. Krishna is the origin of that verbal root. Then, then what is that? Krishna is the origin of the verbal root. What is the essential ingredient, important point, essential ingredient of our life? Soul. It is part and parcel of Krishna. As long as that soul is there, we all live together, deal with one another, relationships continue. But once the time, once Krishna's grace is over, soul has to leave the body. And the body has to become reduced to ashes or become a food to when they're buried, the body is buried, it becomes food to the insects. So, and everything is about Krishna only. So they couldn't, after some time he came to normal, he became normal and said, what is that I'm explaining? Is it making sense? Sir, ever since you came from Gaya, past 10 days, you're talking about Krishna only. We are unable to understand. We don't know what has happened to you. Oh, really? Why you guys, he spoke like that for hours. Why you guys didn't tell me? Felt bad. Then he said, look, I cannot speak. I cannot remain to be your teacher. I see that bluish boy. I see that bluish boy around all the time. That's why I'm speaking this. If you really ask me, you're graduated. Aapka education khatam hi ho gaya. So you go home, and if you want, you can find some other teacher where you can learn. Sir, after listening from you, where can we go? I cannot go anywhere. He said, whatever I am supposed to teach you, I taught you. If you understand Krishna is the beginning, Krishna is the middle, Krishna is the end, Krishna is is everything. Goal of life is to attain Krishna's life and lotus feet. Goal of what is that? It is our goal to attain Krishna's lotus feet. It is our life, if you're fully purified, you can attain Krishna's lotus feet by His grace. Chant the name of Krishna. Learn about Krishna. Sing the glories of Krishna. Why? He's our Father, He's our Mother, He's our Savior. He said, we don't know how to chant, sir. They all tied their books. So, spend your time meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna. Take shelter of this lotus feet of the son of Maharaj Nanda. And if you worship Krishna just by offering little flower, leaf, water, fruit, then you'll get the grace of Krishna. Then Yamaraj can never approach you. Worship that personality who has killed Agasar, Bakasar, Putana, and give them liberation. Ajamil at the time of death chanted Krishna's name. He chanted Krishna's name at the time of death, though he was very sinful. Just by remembering the Lord, he gave up the attachment to his son and eventually went back to spiritual, Vaikuntha. Take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. Lakshmi and Shiva, Lord, what is that? Lakshmi worships at lotus feet. Brahma and Shiva, they're always desirous, they desire to worship that feet. Ananta glorifies that feet. So as long as there is life, then you have strength in your body. Do bhakti. Krishna is a father. Krishna is a mother. He said like this, I'm just, I'm little, Then suddenly realized he's speaking, he's not answering properly. Can you explain how my life affairs, the disorder of my life affairs is influencing my mind? Instead of explaining the verbal roots, I'm talking about something else. And then they said, your commentary, you're telling us to chant the holy name of Krishna. You're glorifying Krishna's energies and potencies. We can't understand, but the transformation when you are going through, when you chant Krishna's name, Krishna's leelas, amazing. I think you're a very great personality. And he said, what about transformation you have seen? Sir, they're marvelous. When you cry, profusely tears come. You shiver. When you shiver and the tears come, amazing. Whole body is filled with sweat. We have never seen anything like that. And the Brahmana, when he was reciting that sloka, you fell down unconscious. We thought you were dead. But when you came back to consciousness, tears were flowing non-stop, like Ganga. Then you start shivering uncontrollably. Even 1,000 people cannot hold you. Wow. And you were sweating. Like a golden, what is that? Golden murti on the ground. Everyone was glorifying. Wow, they never saw like that. Somebody is telling you are Narayan himself. Others said, so you're like maybe Vyasadev incarnate, or Naradaman incarnate, Sukadeva Goswami incarnate, or Prahlad. Or you got that mercy. Then what we did, we don't know what to do. We held you tight, then you slowly came back. But you have no idea what happened to you. Really? Yes, sir. And past 10 days, anything we asked, you're telling only one thing. You're asking us to perform bhakti to Krishna. You're talking about the glories of Krishna's holy name. And we could not follow any of your lessons. We can't tell you And we are scared to tell you this. But the explanation you give is wonderful. Nobody can do that. But 10 days without study? Why you didn't tell me this? Sir, your explanations are correct. Krishna is absolute truth. We understood. It is the essence of the scriptures. But we are, because of our weaknesses, faults, we are children. We couldn't, our intelligence is small. We couldn't understand so much. But we understood the glories of the holy name. We understood Krishna as Supreme Lord. Then he said, oh, Lord Chaitanya is there. He was happy. Lord Chaitanya bless them. My dear students, you have rightly said, my words are not meant for everyone. I said before, right? I see this blue boy constantly and playing the flute. All I hear Krishna's name in my ear. Wherever I look, I see Golok Vrindavan. Sorry, I'm telling you, I cannot teach. So I give you freedom and you go wherever you want to. I can speak about Krishna, his name is Leela. So it's not possible anymore for me to teach. And he said, all right, my blessings to you. If I ever become Krishna, if I'm really servant of Krishna, may Krishna fulfill all your desires. Please, all of you take shelter of Krishna and chant Krishna's holy name. Listen to Krishna's holy name. And may Krishna become your dearmost object. Whatever your studies are, if you want to go to some other teacher, I'm fine. But honestly speaking, if you understood Krishna as everything, there is no need to study. But to chant the holy name in one place. And he said, as a teacher, by Krishna's mercy, all the purport of scriptures made manifest within you. And then once he is as a supreme personality of Godhead, he is telling, all right, you get the essence of, you get the purport of the scriptures. Like when Narayan put the conch shell on the head of Dhruva God understood everything. Likewise, what is that? When he said, you got all the essence of the Vedic knowledge, you get it. Let it manifest in you. You're all my friends, birth after birth. And they said, that's it. They got the knowledge, graduated. That is Krishna's. That is a fortune of being a Krishna student. Krishna blessed, Lord Chaitanya blessed. But sir, we do not know how to do that, how to chant the holy name. We do not know how to do the congregation chanting of the holy name. Lord Chaitanya said, really? I'll teach, all right, no problem. And he said that. So yes. And finally, that thing started. Nam Sankirtan inaugurated. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated the Nam Sankirtan. So all the students, they stood around him. And he said, he started clapping. Araya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama. Araya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama. Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudan. Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudan. Araya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama. Araya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama. Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudan. Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudan. They all students, they came, they started clapping. Finally. Now what is that? Sankirtan movement started. In Navadvip. So when Sankirtan means, then what is that? What is that? There was so much ecstasy. What is that? Yeah. They were dancing. All the demigods from the higher planets. Wow. They came. Finally, Yuga Dharma has been inaugurated. The Yugavatar, what is that? Yugavatar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has started. Harayanam Krishna Yadavaya Nama. Harayanam Krishna Yadavaya Nama. Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudan. Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudan. Harayanam Krishna Yadavaya Nama. So that is the what happened, then what happened? All the residents of Navadvip, they rushed. In the neighboring Vaishnavas, they heard the Kirtan. They all came to see Lord Chaitanya's home. They saw Lord Chaitanya was in deep, relishing that holy name. It was a deep trance. Wow. So finally, devotees were doing Kirtan among themselves like a family business. But now, everyone came. All the residents of Navadvip came. What is this? Amazing. And they saw Vishwambar was relishing the holy name. Kalikali Namarupe, Krishna Avatara. In Kali Yuga, what is that? And Krishna's name, Krishna's holy name is also incarnation. Krishna descends in the form of his holy name, right? So now they are saying all the children, they were chanting, dancing. So one time this Vishwambar was so arrogant, in my pandit. But now, now great Narada Muni and the great devotees, what he is manifesting in that ecstatic emotions, no one can manifest. So if he was so arrogant, but now he's exhibiting that type of ecstasy. You cannot understand the will of Krishna. We cannot understand the will of Krishna. What is going to happen? After some time, when the children were singing and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fainted and he got up. So Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, and what he did, he saw devotees. He saw devotees and embraced them and he cried profusely, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Hare Krishna. And when he embraced them, devotees also cried. So devotees cried. That's why Lord Chaitanya is what? Raga Bhakti. Ecstasy. Not like a Svaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. What is our Bhakti? Ragana Bhakti. Wow. And it was not there before. It was there, but very few. It was not there in general populace. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came freely to give Krishna Prema to everyone. Hare Krishna. No, if you are not a Gaudiya Vaishnava, you cannot understand this. The grace has to come. Lord Chaitanya's grace should be there, Nityananda Prabhu's grace should be there. Then only you'll understand. So the students who took part by his grace, Hare Krishna, their bonds, whatever the bondage was there for him, all this bondage, bonds were separated, severed. They all became renunciates. Practice detachment and detachment from the mundane material affairs, they practiced attachment to Krishna's lotus feet. So that's how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated Nam Sankirtan. So, and he inaugurated, and he would profusely distribute the nectar of the holy name. And that way, he would remove the sufferings, all the Vaishnavas. He would remove the sufferings of all the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. So, devotees were happy. Actually, one time, I was, don't take it as a deviation, but you have no idea what type of transformation it will bring. If only somebody chants Kirtan, if only somebody, takes part in, somebody does sincere service, if only somebody does, chant the holy name, someone chants the holy name sincerely, does service sincerely, take part in Nam Sankirtan sincerely, a little bit, Lord Chaitanya's grace will flow. I was such an atheistic, even after chanting 16 rounds. Like what is that, a smartha mentality, one time. I mean, trust me, only to hopefully, you'll find it good. I was telling this to somebody yesterday. After that, I started judging people actually. One American came to Nirvana. Everyone is listening.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Young boy, a beautiful young boy, very young, maybe 19, 20-year-old. Nirvana was filled with so many Americans. And Nirvana did not have proper training for brahmacharis those days, actually. You can live and, can come to morning program. So, Americans, they talk to other fellow Americans, naturally, right? So, Nirvana was filled with so many girls. They're also Americans, they are beautiful too. So, this boy, visibly, you talk to them, you would go around them. And then I told him, this is difficult. Then why is he here, wasting time? In India, Indians, what they do, they study. Indian goal is only one thing, make money, and then make money, get married, and you need little bhakti, like a cilantro in the khichdi. Your bhakti should support your financial status. That's it. Am I right or not? Huh? But when I saw this boy, he's not studying, but he's not, okay, good, he came to Nirvana, he's not practicing bhakti. Okay, he doesn't, I don't see him in the morning program. On the top of it, 11 o'clock also, you talk to these girls. I was really disgusted, actually. Why are you here? What is the fun? One day, Mother Malti saw that. Or, it's natural that always you would hang on with, that girl, this girl, talking, 11 o'clock also. Mother Malti was on his case. She said, hey, Mother Malti is very tough lady, actually. She told him, you should leave. More or less like that. But very interesting, he didn't leave. She was GVC, and, I don't know what happened. Maybe temple president supported, whatever, This continued, but Mother Malti was on his case. Finally, because of her effort, he decided to leave. And one day, one fine morning, he left. He was in my mind for a very long time. And eventually, after a few years, I moved from Nirvana to our Detroit. Guess what? One day, I saw him. First of all, I could not believe my eyes. And Prabhu, how are you? He asked. I'm fine. I said, how are you doing? He said, good. But this time I was shocked. Saffron. Saffron shown up. And he came with a group of Americans to Detroit for book distribution. Oh, wow. This is the guy I was really unhappy with. Where did you get this transformation, Prabhu? I was impressed. So Yugal Kishore, can we stay with you? I said, why not? So there's a relationship, right? So we came for book distribution. Past 6 months, we are on that book distribution marathon. So we are covering place to place to place. Finally, we came to Detroit. And I'm very happy to see you. And can we stay with you? I said, please. They went for book distribution in the morning. Came back in the evening. 7 o'clock. Guys, how are the book distributors? Like a commander. He was a command. He asked this course. Said, we should read now. They opened the books. They read Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charita. Sorry, Krishna book. They read it. As soon as they came, they asked for prasad. Young boys, young American boys. And he gave a short class on brahmacharya. Wow. Actually, that since then, I stopped judging, actually, I mean, a person can go through this much transformation, and he's literally, he led them very well. This group of Americans, they're all young Americans. Who will join full-time? So many people there in the call, How many of us can join full-time, actually? Huh? We joined full-time. and going on book distribution. Wow. So then as he said, we'll sleep around 7:45. That was summer, actually. Summer Michigan 7:45 means like a bright sun, No, Prabhu, we have to sleep early to rise early. And I told him, Prabhu, 7:45 means for us afternoon, late afternoon. So no, we sleep. And he went and said, no, brahmacharya means you have to sleep early. They went and slept. Young boys, he must be hardly 20 to 23 that time. And slept, got up early morning. Japa, Mangalarti, right? Tilak, Shevana, everyone shikas, they came for Mangalarti. I was impressed, actually. I didn't tell him that, probably this was my opinion and you have totally changed. And so since then, I'm a little careful with anybody, even if we see them visibly, doing something wrong, So one time Gurukul is, it's gone one time, it's 15 years ago. So it's kind of like Gurukul is on one side, it's kind of on one side, it's okay, actually. But this Gurukul is 16-year-old, 17-year-old, so very beautiful, charming. They would come to Nirundan. These young boys and girls, they would stare at Krishna for an hour rather than Chandra. I said, wow, you can stare at Krishna for an hour. So then one person told me, one day, this person was very skeptical of Gurukulis. These guys take drugs and, they're devotee children, but, they're not following the legacy properly. Then Krishna came in the dream and said, they're all my devotees. Even if they're all gold, if they do something wrong, that is like a sand on the gold plate. If you do like that, sand will go away and the gold will come. It's only a matter of time. Don't worry. He told me that. I said, that's great, bro. Such young age, 15, 16 years, they are staring at Krishna for an hour. I'm impressed. And we used to, Peter Barwash. He would come every year and I would have some relationship. Peter said one day, I don't want to. I brought my daughter last year, and when I was giving class, she started hanging on with all these guys, and in Neuronon. And they were asking, did you try this? Did you try that? Did you try that? And she started asking me and said, Dad, these people are bad. They're asking me, did you try that? Did you try this? No, then they said that Yugal Kishore, I'll never bring my daughters again. So, wow. So, I was in New York recently. Not recently, actually, I just came back on Friday. Some kirtan was going on, open the temple door. Somebody singing, who is that singing so sweetly, I thought. And I went and said, from distance, somebody did like this, offered obeisance. I said, who is this? Some New York. So Yurandan, he's actually son of a devotee. And I said, Prabhu, your singing is so sweet. Wow. And then I told him, please. Then I went and said, then I went close, then I recognized him. And I said, Prabhu, never give up bhakti. Your father always, he was so fond of you doing kirtan here and there. Now, please continue. He said, Yugal Kishore, I moved to India now. I stayed in Brahmacharya ashram 4 years. Krishna Balram temple. I said, really? You stayed in Brahmacharya ashram 4 years? Yeah, Devanand Pandit, my next room only. I mean, I knew Devanand Pandit. I said, really? Anyway, that's good, but please don't give up bhakti. Prabhu, what are you talking? I'm initiated now. He said, you're initiated. Yeah, my name is Krishna Kumar. I said, wow, your name is Krishna. I'm initiated. Yeah, I'm initiated. And I'm part of the 24-hour Kirtan group, in the Rose Kirtan group. I said, amazing, Prabhu. And asked, what about your brother? He's coming slowly. So he's giving confidence to me about his brother. Oh, wow. So the point is, another Gurukuli, but this boy, he was like, they're all mixing. One day he told me, I went to Vrindavan. He said, I went to Loi Bazaar. Because I just came from America, I was very tired. I slept in the bazaar, Loi Bazaar, sitting on a small, sitting on a small chair. I just dozed off. In that 5-minute sleep, when I dozed off, Krishna came. He saw Krishna actually. And thought set he changed. But this Gurukuli boy changed. And today he leads such a kirtan. One time I invited him to our Detroit, actually our temple also. Before temple was open, we organized kirtan. I invited him, actually came. I told him, Prabhu, just because of your parents' prayers, you became a devotee. Continue. I told his father, at least this son picked up your legacy. He's a nice devotee now, So now he studied, after that he studied very well, and he got married. And what is his hobby? He's invited, the people invited him for never, Chandramouli Maharaj, I was in actually, I told him, yes, 2019 not now. And Maharaj, what's this kirtan? Chandramouli Maharaj said, a drop of, Gaudiya Vaishnava, it can inundate the whole universe. A drop of bhakti can inundate the whole universe. That is Lord Chaitanya's grace. Wow. So amazing. So what is that? That's not eternal. So Krishna, he gives small, tiny things here and there, only to make us understand the temporary nature of this world. Anyway, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated Nam Sankirtan only to reclaim all the conditions. Now, guess what? In coming chapters, Nityananda Prabhu's entrance will happen. But anyway, Advaitacharya inaugurated, and devotees went and told Advaitacharya the update. They updated him on the latest events that were happening in Navadvip. Advaitacharya said, I had a dream. He said, I had a dream. One day, I did not understand the verse on Bhagavad Gita. What is that? Sarvata Pani Padam Sarvataksha Shirumukham, that verse, 13th chapter Bhagavad Gita. And I didn't understand. What is it? What is my hands and legs everywhere? What is that? Because I didn't understand, I did not eat. I want to fast until I get to understand the essence of this verse. How is that Lord's hands and legs everywhere? Sarvata Pani Padam. Sarvataksha Shirumukham. Then one night, what happened? One night, what happened? That personality came. So personality came. Said, oh, Advaitacharya, wake up, wake up. Why are you fasting? Wake up and don't fast. I will give you the essence when the right time. First, you get up and eat, then you worship me. Give up this sorrow in your heart. Your austerities, they have finally, they finally bore fruit. So you're what is that? Non-stop, endless crying for Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And the vows you made, you called for his advent. They bore fruit now. You should understand. Krishna's name will be chanted in every town and village, every country. By my mercy, everyone will experience Krishna. And what Brahma and Shiva are looking for, that ecstasy, that ecstatic Krishna prema, it will flow now in Navadvip, in Shiva's home. That is not experienced before by anybody, including Brahma. Now, get up and eat. You will see me again in the future. And that person disappeared. When I opened my eyes, the dream broke. Then I saw Vishwambar. And he also disappeared from my sight. I can't understand all these activities of Krishna. But one thing I can tell you, Vishwarup used to come to my home to study the scriptures, Gita and Bhagavatam. He was a small child. Our Vishwambar was a small child that time. So when we do Nam Sankirtan, when in our home, he would come to, he would come to take Vishwambar with him. Vishwarup with him. That time we were all attracted to his beauty. So that time we were bless him, May you develop a pure service. What is that? He's a grandson of Nilambar Chakravarti. And Vishwambar himself is a great scholar. It's natural, it's, what is that? It's natural for him to be attracted to Krishna. Why not? I'm very happy, very glad that I hear all these wonderful activities, I request you to all bless him. So they were all thinking he's actually still a jiva. What is that? So that he'll make more progress in his devotional ecstasies, and he'll make everyone chant the holy name. I pray that Krishna become merciful on all and make everyone mad with the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If that is true, everyone will come to the home of this wonderful child, Vishwambar, and they started Nam Sankirtan. And when they started Nam Sankirtan, Krishna descended in the form of holy name. Everyone chanted Hari Hari, Hari. So what happened? So what is that? So we'll end it here. We'll continue the next week. So Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give Krishna Prema to everyone. But we need to preach, We should not make it should not just keep it to ourselves. Very important. So what is it? I asked this small young girl, she's 11th grade. She said, 11th grade means how many years? 15, 16 maybe. She said, because of my preaching, this boy reached 3 rounds, she said. I said, that's good. So our movement is a preaching movement. Give them books, give them prasad, speak about holy name, give them mala. Then no, that's how Srila Prabhupada started, right? Final inauguration, notice that this movement started, Lord Chaitanya inaugurated Nam Sankirtan. Let's see what happens. I'm ending now. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.